You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating, new, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
And welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Thursday, September 18th. In our top story, Bain Lobato is sentenced in a Pahrump courtroom today for the DUI crash resulting in the death of a 5-month-old baby.
Today in Judge Wonker's courtroom, Bain Lobato received his sentence for the crash that killed an infant passenger known as Baby Benny. Before sentencing, Lobato read a letter accepting full responsibility, saying he will, quote, live with that night for the rest of his life.
First and foremost, I want to start off by saying how terribly sorry that I am to Angelina and Brian. Not only am I sorry for the accident, I am horrifically sorry for the loss of a child in this accident. No words can ever be said by me that will ever make up for the loss. That truly makes me feel horrible inside and will eat at me for the rest of my life. I want to apologize to Josephina, who also was in the car at the time of the accident. Not in this lifetime or any lifetime would I ever go out of my way to hurt someone in the way everyone has been hurt and impacted by this accident. There isn't a single night that goes by where I don't have nightmares from that night. Like I said earlier, no sorries, no words will ever make up for yours and your family's loss. But I will spend the rest of my life making up for it.
His attorney, Andrew Fritz, noted Lobato's lack of prior criminal record and a difficult childhood marked by parental incarceration and addiction. Fritz asked for a 4 to 15-year term, citing the 574 days Lobato has already spent in custody.
So he's been in custody 574 days. He's had a chance, as he made in his statement, and he has nightmares every night. That's 574 days of nightmares and having to relive this horror. He's going to have many, 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 many more days to reflect and think about this. He's had a lot of time, a lot of chance to reflect. Also, back to his upbringing, Your Honor, it was not good. It was not good. Being around that drug environment, he experimented at a very young age. Drugs were problematic for him. That started at a very young age, and we're not here to again, to point the fingers at anyone else, play the role of the victim, but his home life was not good, and drugs became problematic in his early life. So we'd ask that you follow the recommended sentence of myself and my client, 4 to 15, concurrent, 574 days of credit. Thus far. Thank you.
Prosecutors countered that Lobato's blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. They described the infant victim's severe head injuries after being ejected from the vehicle, who was later pronounced deceased at the hospital.
That night, according to what he admitted to officers, he drank. According to the offense synopsis, his blood alcohol content came back at 0.149, almost double the legal limit. Your Honor, reading paragraph 2 of the offense synopsis, one sentence. One of the individuals identified as minor victim had been ejected from the vehicle and had extensive injuries to his head and face area. He was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced deceased. Your Honor, we get to sit here and discuss this case today. but someone who will never walk into this courtroom, never had the chance to walk, is this minor victim who was suddenly and violently thrown from a vehicle. To boil this down to one bad day, that's an injustice. This was a loss of life. A 5-month-old child. On top of that, the other victims in the vehicle were injured and required hospitalization. The vehicle had been approaching the intersection at speeds of 60 to 80 miles an hour at a 45-mile-an-hour zone. That doesn't even track with the brakes not working. The brakes not working and the defendant speeding doesn't work. The defendant made the decision to drink. The defendant made the decision to drive a vehicle that may or may not have mechanical issues. Now the defendant gets to sit here. But that child will not sit here. The state is going to be asking for the maximum sentence on both counts to run consecutive.
After deliberation, Judge Wonker sentenced Lobato to 8 to 20 years in prison on count 1, plus a $2,000 fine, a 3-year driver's license suspension, and a requirement for an interlock device for 36 months once driving privileges are restored. On count 2, Lobato received 28 to 72 months and another $2,000 fine. Both sentences will run consecutively, with 574 days credited for time served.
Breaking news now into the News 25 newsroom from UPD South regarding a power outage on CSN's West Charleston campus. The College of Southern Nevada's West Charleston campus sent out an alert earlier this afternoon saying that power was out and that power outage remains ongoing for the past 2 hours, and classes have now been canceled for the rest of the evening on the West Charleston campus. Please stay tuned. That power outage, the reason has not been relayed. However, it may be due to ongoing storms currently sweeping through Las Vegas. Be careful out there. Turning now to national entertainment news and a shakeup in late night. Las Vegas native Jimmy Kimmel's late night show is suspended indefinitely just hours after an FCC warning sparking outcry over political pressure and free speech.
This comes after a pointed warning from FCC Chair Brendan Carr. On Wednesday, Carr suggested ABC and its affiliates could risk losing their broadcast licenses unless they took action against Kimmel, known for frequently mocking President Donald Trump. Just hours later, Kimmel's show was pulled. It's a move that appears to follow a familiar trail, straight to corporate interests. Nexstar, one of the affiliates groups involved in the decision, is currently seeking government approval to merge with another media giant, Tegna. The green light would likely come from the Trump administration. Legal experts say ABC and its parent company, Disney, could have pushed back, arguing the government is infringing on First Amendment rights. But Carr's very public pressure may have made the stakes too high. Critics point to a broader pattern: the Trump administration's growing focus on media companies, particularly those that challenge its narrative or mock the president.
And after this break, we're telling you about the good VFW is doing to bring positive notes to an area school. All that and more when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, the VFW is holding a benefit for Rosemary Clark Middle School to get new instruments and sheet music for the choir and band. Haley Grabby has more.
News 25 met up with members of the VFW who are organizing a fundraiser to support the RCMS Band and Choir. During the interview, organizers shared details about where the event will be held and who the community can contact for more information.
This coming up Friday the 19th, we will have our second annual Urban Cowboy Party, and this year we are going to fundraise for our middle school band and choir. Fundraiser, well actually I just put up my first raffle basket this past week, but last year we fundraised for the homeless kids of Nye County. This year we're going to do the band and choir. The goal is to get as much as fundraising, much as funds where we can get for them, hopefully new instruments, or if they need new sheet music, scores, reeds. This is taking place, dinner starts from 5 to 7, and then the party starts from 7 to 10.
I'm doing grilled chicken legs. I'm making great pasta salad and baked beans. And we want everybody to come out and enjoy yourself. It's good food, good fun, and it's really for a good purpose for our children of this town. I'm the kitchen manager here. You can call the VFW Post, or you can call me personally, and my number is 775-537-5320. All right, we have a food bank for our veterans. Every Wednesday morning, we donate food out to our veterans in need. Now, you come in with your DD-214 before Wednesday, get signed up with Jill. And her number, you just have to call the BFW. They will give you her number, and we can take all kinds of donations. We have quite a few here Wednesday. Once a month, we have a medical bus that comes in here. The second Wednesday of every month, it is free for our veterans to go and get blood pressure, talk to them about different ailments and what they may need to do. There is a medical team out there for our veterans. On my kitchen, everybody that comes in here that works in our kitchen are all volunteers. I mean, we have young kids, we have older kids, older women, older men, and they come in and volunteer their time to help us prep meals, deliver meals, do dishes, anything they can do to help us. And we appreciate it, and I'll take any and all volunteers I can get.
With Urban Cowboy, we have this raffle basket right now. This raffle basket, you don't have to be present because we started pre-sale tickets. I will have 3 other raffle baskets and plus a 50-50 drawing that you do have to be present for. And we want to have a good time. We want our public to come in and get some money for these kids. Yeah, and we will have a band that will start at 7 o'clock. Also, my understanding, these kids will be doing a couple patriotic songs for us.
That's nice. Kids are getting involved.
Today's students are tomorrow's veterans.
In today's sports news, we can't stress it enough. Go Aces go. They're facing a do-or-die showdown tonight. Game 3 on their home court with everything on the line. Mikey Ruhan has all that and more right now in sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The Las Vegas Aces are back on their home court Thursday night. And it's not just another game, folks. It's Game 3. Win or go home, and no one packed a suitcase. The Aces steamrolled Seattle in Game 1 with a 102-77 smackdown at Michelob Ultra Arena. But then Seattle said, no, not in our house, and pulled off a 86-83 comeback in Game 2 that had Vegas fans checking their blood pressure. Now it all comes down to tonight. One game, one winner, one team moving on. And one team stuck watching highlights on the couch. Meanwhile, the Las Vegas HBCU Classic is heating up, and we're not just talking about football. Yes, Jackson State and Grambling State takes over Allegiant Stadium on Saturday, October 25th, but the party starts way before kickoff. We're talking pep rallies on Fremont Street, gospel brunches, and a lot more. Now to the Diamond, the Las Vegas Aviators had a bit of a rough night, falling to the Salt Lake Bees 11-6 on Wednesday. The rematch is tonight at 7 p.m. Hopefully the Aviators remember it's okay to swat a few bees. And finally, hockey is back. The Vegas Golden Knights are lacing up for preseason action this Sunday in San Jose. They're taking on the Sharks. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thanks so much, Mikey. And as we head to break, we're reminding you that this is the last weekend of summer. What to do before it gets cold this fall, all that and more when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 779500.
Welcome back. Well, fall officially starts on Monday, but we have a little bit of time here in Southern Nevada before it gets cold, so now is a great time to caulk drafty windows around your home. Valley Electric Association is sharing step-by-step instructions on how to caulk drafty areas and reduce your energy bills.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Did you know heating and cooling account for roughly half of your home's energy use? Applying caulk around drafty windows is a fairly easy project you can do yourself, and this simple task can pay off with big energy savings. Here's what you'll need: caulk, caulk gun, putty knife, rags, scissors, and safety goggles. To start, clean the area where you'll be applying the caulk with a wet rag. Be sure the area is dry before applying new caulk. Next, cut off the sealed tip of the caulk tube at a 45-degree angle. Load the tube of caulk in the caulk gun, then squeeze the trigger to fill the tip with caulk. Apply steady pressure on the trigger to create a solid stream of caulk. The caulk tip should be held no more than 1/2 inches from the surface. Gently press the caulk into the corner, cracks, or space with the putty knife. Wipe away excess caulk with a dry cloth. Seal the caulk tube for future use. Allow the caulk up to 24 hours to dry after application. Remember, you can apply caulk to other areas of your home, like around doors, pipes, and plumbing. Want to do more? We're here to help. Contact us to learn more about ways to save energy.
In today's health news, when it comes to losing weight, many people turn to their scales to help check their progress. But some experts say that number does not tell the whole story.
Today's health report is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. When you or a loved one needs medical attention, Desert View Hospital is ready to help. We've been providing friendly and compassionate care to our neighbors since 2006, including emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit desertviewhospital.com to learn more. With limited exceptions, physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
That is, one big issue that we have with weight and also with body mass index or BMI, because you have to take into the fact that you're looking at improving someone's quality of life, which means, according to studies and research, that it has to be a loss in fat mass that we're looking for, or adipose tissue, as the medical personnel would talk about. So when we talk about the scale, I talk to patients about multiple things when it comes to weight, and not just the weight on the scale.
Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Pamenda Kabandugama says many factors can impact the number on the scale, like time of day. For example, weight may vary depending on whether you weigh yourself in the morning before breakfast or late in the afternoon. Other factors like water retention, bloating, or muscle gain from exercise can also make weight fluctuate. Instead of relying on the scale to track progress, the picture method is another option. That's where you take a photo of yourself in the same clothes every 2 weeks. You could also use a tape measure to check your waist to hip ratio, but more importantly, pay attention to how you feel.
The biggest thing about weight is quality of life. And a lot of my patients, even patients who say, hey, I don't really move much on this scale, they will tell me things that are important, like, hey, I climb up and down the stairs without being winded. I'm not in pain anymore. I get to play with my kids a lot more. I mean, that's why the quality of life plays a role.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Time to take a look outside through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at this stormy September afternoon. We have cloud cover all across the Pahrump Valley and in Las Vegas. It is currently raining with more rain expected on Friday. A closer look in weather next.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Time to take a look now around Pahrump, Las Vegas and our surrounding areas. It is currently raining in Las Vegas with more rain expected, and the highs today are lower because of that precipitation. All around the southern Nevada area in Death Valley, the high under 100, only 99 today. Las Vegas tops out at only 85. Amargosa 84, Beatty 80. Goldfield dips down to 76 for the high. Tonopah 79. Carson City tops out at 85 for the high. And the Weather Twins of Fallon and Fernley top out at 87. And today, it is currently 78 degrees here in Pahrump. Our high was 82 with winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Humidity is high at 20%. Sunrise was at 6:29 a.m. And tonight, we can expect a low of 73 here in Pahrump with winds out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Humidity remains high at 20%. Sunset will be at 6:50 p.m. And looking ahead to our 7-day forecast, here in Pahrump, it will be sunny, but with a chance of rain, 50-30%. And the high will be 85, low of 66. But our last weekend of summer will be sunny with highs at 90 and the lows in the mid-60s. And the beginning of fall on Monday has our high topping out at 95 with a low at 69, humidity at only 30%. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the rest of our midweek, highs in the mid-90s and lows in the upper 60s, lower 70s. And please be careful out there on the roadways. It is starting to sprinkle here in Pahrump, but there are definitely showers and storms between Pahrump and Las Vegas and within Clark County around Las Vegas and surrounding areas. More rain is expected on Friday, so again, be careful and slow down because when that precipitation hits those roadways with the accumulation of the oil, it makes things very slippery out there. So be careful braking and watch out for your fellow drivers. That does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and A's Country Radio, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.